One of the things I really laugh at, right? I do. I laugh at this all the time. Is that constant talk about there being too many bad things in Disney Star Wars, right? It's terrible. It's garbage. It's a business. A lot of that happening now for almost 2 years, and I don't know about you, but my God, I am so looking forward to the Rise of Skywalker coming out. I hope to God that it's good, because if that's the case, then we'll be living in a world where Star Wars could potentially be good again, and that is a world that I want to live in. But yesterday, articles started circulating around, and a lot of them about this one here. I missed this one yesterday, about Bob Iger talking about how they put out too much Star Wars content too quickly. And I'm going to look at what he says, and then I'm going to call it basically BS, because it's exactly BS. It is. It's 100% BS. It's BS that they put out too much Star Wars too quickly. It really is. Anyway, Bob Iger admits that they rushed itself with Star Wars. The media giant bought Lucasfilm in 2012, and it has been relentless with this movie output over the past 7 years, including 3 main installments, The Rise of Skywalker, coming this December, and standalone films such as Rogue One and Solo. But the latter failure to deliver at the box office has sparked a rethink. So let's think about this, right? They bought it in November 2012. That's when the deal was signed. So that's been almost 7 years. They put out the first movie in 2015, 3 years later. It's been 4 years since then, and we're coming up on the 6th movie in that time frame. Not even that, sorry. 5th movie in that time frame. 5th movie in 4 years. Not that bad, considering how many other movies come out every single year. And just having one a year, right, was not that big of a problem. It wasn't at all. People were happy with one a year because we went so long. We went 16 years from 1983 to 1999 without having any Star Wars films. And then we went from 2005 to 2015 without having any Star Wars films, with the exception of the 2008 Clone Wars animated movie, which the quality, your mileage may vary on that one. I liked it, but there's some glaring issues with it. Anyway, Disney CEO Iger told the New York Times, "I think that we've just put out a little bit too much in the marketplace too fast. I think the storytelling capabilities of the company are endless because of the talent we have at the company. And the talent we have at the company is better than it's ever been, in part because of the influx of people from Fox." Now that's interesting. Now that's kind of weird that he's talking up people from Fox in regards to Star Wars. Now, what does that say about what's potentially happening? I mean, Fox had nothing to do with Star Wars. This was always a George Lucas joint. It was always Lucas. Fox was just the distributor. Now, articles are coming out talking about how Fox was like super mad, like crazed that Disney had purchased Lucasfilm back in 2012, which makes sense because they probably thought they'd be first bid. But like, we distribute the movies, man. Yeah, but are you going to pony up the $4 billion? No, because they have trouble running their own company. And Iger thought ahead. Iger just, unfortunately, they've screwed a couple things up with it. Now, his honesty comes after he confirmed earlier this year that the money-spending franchise's production will slow down dramatically after the release of J.J. Abrams' The Rise of Skywalker. He said, "We will take pause some time and reset because the Skywalker saga comes to an end with this 9th movie. There will be other Star Wars movies, but there will be a bit of a hiatus," which is wrong in my opinion. It's the wrong call in my mind. But I will get into that here. It's been suggested that Disney's decision to have has been influenced by underwhelming box office performances of 2018 Solo, and plans for further spin-off movies have been thrown into doubt as the studio considers how it plans to progress with the iconic franchise. Iger did add at the time, "We have not announced any specific plans for movies thereafter. There are movies in development, but we have not announced them." Now, of course, I think he's referring to this is before we knew about 2022, 2024, and 2026. But the thing to really consider with this, though, is the fact that it's a load of crap. It's Iger spinning, doing business spin. But let's be real here. Let's be real. When news broke 7 years ago that you'd be able to that Disney would be buying Star Wars, a lot of people out there were like, "Oh, damn, we get more Star Wars. That's amazing," right? Because Lucas had said earlier in 2012, January 30th of 2012, he had said, "Yeah, no, I'm done. I'm done." Red Tails came out. It crashed and burned. He says he's done. So he moved on. He retired Star Wars. Bob Iger comes in, scoops it up. Now we're going to get Star Wars. We're going to get Star Wars till the end of time. We know that, which is fine. It's great. Let it be a thing. Let it be a reality. So we get Star Wars. They wait 3 years. They put it out. $2.2 billion. Everyone loves Star Wars again. No one complained about The Force Awakens initially. Just like no one complained about The Phantom Menace initially either. But The Force Awakens is still a more palatable film than Phantom Menace. But still, no one really complained about it. They wanted to see what happened next. It wasn't until The Last Jedi threw a wrench in everything, subverted expectations so wonderfully that it kind of derailed the franchise. And Solo was a casualty as a result of that. Now, it's not hard necessarily to get things back on track. It really isn't. You finish up The Rise of Skywalker, you get that last movie out there, you make sure the Skywalker saga gets wrapped up in a nice, neat little bow, and you do your best to make the audiences as happy as you possibly can, which is going to be tough to do following The Last Jedi, because there are some diehard fans of that, and there's some people who absolutely hate it. But you also, in the meantime, you gave us Rogue One. Everyone loves Rogue One. People want more Rogue One. People do. So you thought, let's do Solo. Because Solo's an interesting concept. They could turn that into a potential series. Makes sense. The problem with it is, though, is that people weren't necessarily asking for it. And even though I do find that argument in essence to be relatively kind of, I don't know, backhanded and weak, it's a little bit of a weak argument. Oh, well, no one asked for it. True. But, at the same time, no one asked for Rogue One. We liked Rogue One. So there's that. Things to consider on that front. So what you got to think about here, guys, is that they gave us a couple good movies and a couple movie, like one bad movie and one, and then Solo, whatever you think of Solo. I love Solo. I think it's great. I've watched it probably more times than anything else in the sequel trilogy and the new Disney Star Wars films. I've watched that more, and I still love it. But think of it like this. They wanted to replicate the Marvel side of things, right? They wanted to replicate Marvel. So instead of doubling down on it and going, well, let's figure out when is best to release the movies. Christmas seems to work so far. Let's stick with that. Memorial Day's been dead for a couple years. Let's not touch Memorial Day. That's already a crowded timeline as it is. There's so many movies that are coming out. Let's save Star Wars for winter. Let's make that a staple of winter. And we're going to do that. That's fine. They didn't do that. They didn't even go back to that front with after Solo. I mean, well, they did now actually, but they should have kept it. They should have kept it on the trajectory. Go, well, no, we're going to do a Boba Fett movie, Christmas. We're going to do Solo sequel, Christmas. Right? We're going to do all these things, Christmas. But the saving grace in all that front actually is all it's all Disney Plus. Now, see, this is the thing, right? Iger says, "Oh, we put out too much Star Wars content," but you have The Mandalorian, you got Clone Wars season 6 or season 7, whatever it is. You've got the Obi-Wan show, you've got Cassian Andor, right? And there's going to be more coming down the pipeline. Probably a Boba Fett show. If The Mandalorian isn't Boba Fett, it will clearly be Boba Fett in the show somewhere. We know this. We know that this is going to be happening. So Iger here is being a little bit slippery. It's not that we got too much content or they put out too much content. It's that they put out content without having a plan. And that is ultimately the big kicker here is they didn't have a plan. And that's where Marvel, run up by Kevin Feige, has a game plan. It has a long-term run. He knows what he's going for and he's accomplished it. I don't believe that there's too much Star Wars content out there. I don't think there's enough Star Wars content out there. And what I have seen, I really like outside of The Last Jedi. Star Wars Resistance. Surprisingly good show. Yes, it's a child show, but it's a good kid show. It really kind of picks up and the characters are fun. And I can't wait to see what happens with the season. Right? The Clone Wars. That's gonna be good too when that comes out. Right? Getting Dave Filoni gonna be finishing that up. That probably was more of a give me to fans at following The Last Jedi. So hey, if you think of it like this. The Last Jedi is actually kind of done enough to really benefit Star Wars. Now, hear me out. Again, I'm not praising the movie, but hear me out on this front. What if The Last Jedi caused such a division within the fan base, such a divide with everybody, that what they chose to do was they chose to then kind of scale things back and shrink it down to the small screen. So we still get a lot of Star Wars. I mean, we're going to get The Mandalorian in like a couple weeks. And then next year, Mandalorian season 2, because they've already greenlit that. So that's probably already in production right now. Then you're going to get the Cassian Andor show, which starts filming early next year. Who knows, probably for a 2021 release. Obi-Wan starts filming early next year. Perhaps that will be coming out at the end of the year. Clone Wars drops in February. I mean, there's at least 2-3 Star Wars shows that are going to be coming to Disney Plus in 2020. 3 shows, potentially. 2 guaranteed. That's more than movies. That's more than movies, even now. They're talking about a potential solo spin-off series set for Disney Plus. Ooh, that could be a thing. Add that to the list. Another show. And another show. And there's going to be so many shows that they're going to make. So many shows that they're going to put out there. So no. The whole issue here with content is just theatrical and how they chose to release it. That's all it really boils down to. At the end of the day, Iger's comments here are just based on business, and that's it. But no, there's not too much Star Wars content. There's not enough Star Wars content. The audience is there. The audience is craving it, but they want it to be good. And perhaps the best gift The Last Jedi gave us was that it was so bad that it forced them to finally come up with a plan. And that plan seems to be Disney Plus, which is why I keep saying that Disney Plus will save Star Wars. And I'm curious to know about this, your thoughts, your opinions. Let me know down in the comments below. I will talk to you guys later. Have yourself a fantastic day. Please thumbs up the video if you want. Please help support the channel if you want. And I'd be really happy if you guys would subscribe. I'd be really happy if you guys want to come over here to patreon.com/MattJarbo. Help out the channel. YouTube these days is shutting so much stuff down. People are just getting hit left and right. $1 goes a long way. Patreon.com/MattJarbo. I will talk to you guys all later. Have yourself a fantastic day. Thank you again for watching, and peace out.